Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Crusader Kings III. In the previous episodes, I just realized that Jerusalem is no longer also powerful. It's now Italy, the Kingdom of Italy, that's controlling this area of Queen Bona, who's infertile, and her husband is dead. But the primary heir is going to be the Queen of Jerusalem, which is very interesting. Maybe we should try a murder scheme on her to see Italy. I guess what happened was that Jerusalem and Italy here, they were actually one two kingdom titles, one person. I didn't really look too much into what was going on with our save with Jerusalem, but who better than the Italians to hold the title, because the Italians are basically what the papacy normally is. These papacy regions are Italian, and one might say that Italian is like the true descendants of the Romans, but I'm not going to get into that argument, because our goal today is to clean up this mess that we have in the Iberian Peninsula, because this is not the roughest that you can get when playing Crusader Kings III, but I've had gameplays, runs with not Ironman, where not only was I able to pretty reasonably buy maybe the 1250s, the Iberian Peninsula, but I was also able to get most of this region of France and Aquitaine. And that's also why in the couple previous episodes, the far previous ones, quote unquote, we were marrying into the Capet house to get not only an alliance with France, but maybe to see if we can have a land grab. But unfortunately, that seems to have only worked in our disadvantage, with the French having claims on Iberian land, which is a serious problem, because now we have Aquitaine slowly sneaking onto our continent, alongside the fact that France is just somehow under this duchy of Toulouse, or however this is pronounced. They have basically most of Iberia, most of Barcelona, what would be the duchy of Barcelona, on their lockdown. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting issue. This is something that we need to keep a close eye on, because we're gonna need this duchy, because if you look on the duchy map here, we need the Barcelona, and there's just no claims, because this is all inside Toulouse, and you can see Toulouse is here, but they're really powerful. I was hoping that they were going to go independent. I said that a couple times, I believe, that I was hoping this was going to go independent, but so far they are loyal to France. If I was able to switch, maybe I would try. That would be an interesting thing, because this is almost 6.2k. That's almost double the amount of men that we're allowed to use, and we're a kingdom, and we're getting pretty close to being an empire. So yeah, Toulouse would be a very powerful kingdom. It's almost more like an extension of Burgundy in its current form, but it's currently still under Lineage of the French throne, and not under the Aquitaine throne or any other empire or anything. When it comes to domestic affairs, what are we doing here? One of the regrets that I have was it really Malik? I want to say it wasn't Malik, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was Malik that had just a lot of prestige, and in retrospect, we should have spent that, especially since we know he had pneumonia, and spending the prestige and getting it all out would be better. My brother, maybe it's not worth having a child, because my brother is still Castilian, and the question is, do we want to be Andalusians or do we want to be Castilian? My brother's still Castilian, so if he inherits the throne's going to be back into Castilian hands. But right now, we're Andalusians, and the problem is we did that to appeal to the very strong Andalusian faction in the Iberian Peninsula. Of course, it's still very strong, but the thing is we might want this to be phased out. Maybe we want Castilianism. That's not our priority. Obviously, priority is on the religious front. And this duchy here, which is unfortunately quite powerful, is still a Muslim majority a duchy, and we need to convert them to Christianity, Catholicism, preferably, of course. So that's like one of the things that we really need to do to really help stabilize this region and to stabilize our kingdom and future empire. Because this is a major thrown in our backside. So if we take a look here, we're slowly making progress. I think we're right now. What are we doing here? Alcaraz is the main region that we're working on converting, and we're at 80% progress. So, yeah, and we're also at the same time working on improving control to help get stuff like this, because this is minus 30 opinion, right? So if this minus 30 opinion goes away in advance because of the control work, this is going to be plus 5, because this is only minus 25, and that's a minus 30. Control is low, it's only 60. I'm not sure what this is, if this is like 60 out of 100. But it's apparently not good. And the problem here is really this king here. Or not king, this duke. Well, I guess it's, what do you call them? Emirs, yeah. We cannot imprison him at all. That's going to start a war, so that's a problem. Even our powerful vassals are still in the negatives, and that unfortunately includes the fact that our predecessor has positive opinion. We're a disgraced king. We have just so many bad traits. The game is really not on our side because we have sadistic and we have vengeful, which is just awful. Gluttonous is also what Sebastian has, so even if Sebastian takes over, he is no saint either. And I am tempted to go back to the Castilian culture. Let's see here. So the rite of clergy, Shaikha Franild recites a passage with a wavering voice from the scriptures held in front of her and then stands silent. Franild has proven to be a member of the clergy, Archbishop Henrik states, standing right next to the prisoner and treating me to a scornful look. As such, she must be placed under clerical custody. Surely she could recite a passage of my choosing, which is a learning challenge. Possible outcomes is 95% that Franild will recite the passage correctly. I spent 150 prestige, which prestige is very important to us. We're disgraced. We don't have enough of it. She will leave the prison, and Henrik will gain 15 opinion from me. And there's a 5% chance that she will be unable to read it, and I'll gain 75, and she's thrown back in the dungeon. I could just straight up let her leave the prison. Humbled by me. Pleased. What's the difference between humbling and pleased? Dies ever after her release. Yeah, I think, I mean, who is she? She is a criminal in the Sheikdom of Pravia. So the question here is whether I want her from the Sheikdom of Pravia, excuse me, if I want her to be free or do I want her to not be free. And that's an interesting question. The thing is if I murder her, her son will become in power, and her son is ugly. He's Castilian. I don't know, is your duchy name? Interesting. I'm gonna say don't trip on the way out. So suspicious death. She's an adulterer. I don't think it's a publicly known murder, but yeah. Okay, so now it's controlled by Temeke Ioannes of Bravia. So that's interesting. He is Castilian, so yeah. Well, continue running the clock. When it comes to Portucale, we cannot seize the county yet because we don't have the prestige. Oh, the county. This is going to be slow. We could do it for Emir Sancho. So Emir Sancho, he is... Hold on here. Emir Sancho is not our vassal. He is not. He doesn't have Liège to us. He has two allies. Lower Lorraine or Upper Lorraine is a really big problem. We could seize the entire. Seizing the duchy is cheaper. It's 180. The problem is, yeah, you saw there. It was superior military. If I siege the duchy, their military is superior. Yes. So we have a serious problem with our military, that our military is just not there. Ooh, okay. And as for this territory, this one would probably be the better one. Although I have no real claims other than a holy war, which I cannot afford a holy war because I'm just such a horrible person. We could slowly chip away at this at the bottom, or this vassalage. Yeah, it's only holy war. Okay, so if we look at this menu, we could fabricate a claim. But the thing is like I don't know if I want to spend my time fabricating a claim or not. Next question is my wife. What should my wife be doing? Should she be doing? So she's mostly good with politics, so probably helping out with. Court politics is probably a good idea because that gives me even more diplomacy, and diplomacy is kind of key. I mean, there's really nothing for me to do because this is just a really terrible situation other than running the clock and seeing whether either I'm able to convert the faith in the powerful duchy and slowly dismantle the guy from there. And we have 2 betrothals that are available. So this is Leonor Felipez Jimena. So she is... Who is she? She is Philippe's daughter, which was Alfonso's brother's daughter, basically. Are we gonna have an alliance? We better have an alliance. I don't think that was an alliance, actually. I think that was because that was under the previous one, which is actually kind of oopsie, kind of shit, because... Yeah, what about you? Are you going to give us an alliance? No. Oh! I'm now the dynasty head, which I guess is progress, but not that much progress. Let's see here. Another betrothal. House Jimena. Okay. I will graciously take the hand of your cousin Philippe and Holy Maid Termini. Okay, so we're not making any alliances today. So children would be important because children would be alliances all around, right? Yes. And my wife is actually ill, so my wife might actually pass away here. And the question is, let's see here. Yeah, okay, so if my wife passes away, the problem is that I want kids. Murder Estefania. Who's Estefania? Estefania is someone in my family. Okay, she's probably son of Velasco the First. Alfonso, okay. I was running the clock the entire time. Oops. What about this place? Does this place in particular? Yeah, nothing special. Okay. So the Sheikdom of Alcatraz gained religious reconstruction, or religious construction for 5 years. So that's good. That means that they're making progress. 87% done converting the faith. They're still working on control. There is some kind of ship going past the Iberian Peninsula here. We have a dynasty. So assertive rulers means that we get vassal limit plus 10 and short range duration minus 20%, which is not bad. Chance of reinforcing congenital traits plus 30% is also great. Marriage acceptance plus 30. Vassals are less likely to join claimant factions. Actually, I'm going to take this one. This one might be number 2, but I'm going to take that one because, you know, any... even righteousness is pretty good. Because, like, what's been happening in the last couple episodes, if I can prevent that as much as possible, I'll take that. So vassal limit plus 10, that's pretty good. Especially if you have a large empire, you might want to have a high vassal limit. Number 2 is that short ring duration. Okay, I don't think we have that debuff. Excuse me. I don't think we have that debuff anymore, but that is something that we do... Oh yeah, we do still have that debuff. So the faster we can get rid of that debuff, the faster people will actually like me as a monarch, and the less likely we will have these problematic factions. Because right now we have one problematic, which is Alcaraz, which is, you know, we're doing a lot of work over there to get them on our side and not wanting to leave our great kingdom. Okay, so my wife is actually pregnant. So I guess we're not going to go down the path of going with Sebastian and rebringing the Castilian culture back into the throne. I mean, we can always switch later. Andalusian is going to be part of the family now. There's apparently some stuff here going on. Not sure if these guys are in a war. What's going on here? This is not what I want to see. Why is there a battle going on over here? You guys are fighting up there. That's fine. I'm just seeing fighting going on over here, and I'm slightly concerned about that. Looks like there's some internal battles going on, but it doesn't really affect me. Let's see what else. Yes, I guess I'm just running the clock at the moment. There's nothing really too special going on. I'm just gonna run this until something interesting happens. Okay, so this disbanded. That's great. Because there's actually positive stuff going on here. So these guys are actually more positive now. Okay, we got an autosave. Okay, so the task has been finished. Let's go ahead and move. So, what should we check next? So here it's +5, here it's +5. Pretty consistent, and even here it's -5. Why is it -5 here? Because the buffs aren't good enough? Or why is the opinion here lower? Foreign culture group. What's your culture? Andalusian? But I'm also Andalusian. Foreign culture group. Oh, the sheik here in this region is a Booter instead of a Andalusian, which is actually a problem. I don't know how big of a problem that is, but I wish I could get rid of this Emir Mundir just completely. I'll target the Heartland and target this for conversion to Catholicism, and otherwise I'll just keep running the clock. There's some instability going on over here and up here. I hope this isn't. Okay, so it doesn't seem to be Portugal trying to take over, because that would be indeed a problem. Okay, so we have a daughter. And my wife wants to name it after herself, which, you know what, I'll it's a Vlach name, but I'll go with it, sure. She probably... Your neighbor, Duke Alain, has won against the Duke Pierre of Champagne, which is up there. Doesn't really affect us that much, but more interested in Toulouse. What's going on over there? Yeah, my courtier, Thekla, I guess. had a son. Philippe is fine. Yeah, I think Philippe is fine. Philippe. Shady discussion. I am passing through the castle gardens for a morning walk when a soft breeze carries the voices of Tatafi and Richard to my ear. The two courtiers are talking to each other in a secluded spot nearby, frequently glancing around to make sure nobody's listening. While it is hard for me to make out most of their words from a distance, it is clear that their discussion is related to Emir Jamie II of Aragon. Okay, so Jamie is, or Jaime or whatever, he is not on our side. He is a powerful vassal, so that's a red flag already, and he is negative 79, so he's really not on our side. He might backstab us. So let's see here. If only I could get a bit closer. 94% chance. Without them noticing, they're discussing his private life and some of his unsavory habits. So he turns out to be a witch, practicing witchcraft, which is interesting. So now we can actually blackmail him. So I can blackmail him. I could also technically imprison him, but my success chance is going to be like negative 68% chance. There is no chance of him accepting me. I do not have a hook on him. Aha, so this is where we're going to blackmail him to get a strong hook. So we're going to get a strong hook. So either he can get a strong hook, or if he rejects it, I can straight up expose him to the public. So we got a strong hook on him. I can, if I use the strong hook, it's negative 43% instead of negative 73. So this guy is really not happy with me. That I basically can't throw him in jail because it's so powerful. Let's see here. If I switch over, yeah. So my Spy Master is powerful. I could install a more powerful Spy Master. The question is, so who is this? You are my Marshal. The problem is the Marshal is pretty important, and you're a very poor Marshal. I could just play the Swapperoo game, so I can put you on the Marshal duty, and then I can put you on Intrigue. And what's this? Avoid protection against schemes. Next, I can imprison, and this is still going to be negative 42%, but my intrigue is at least running a little bit stronger. We might have to do a swapperoo here. Here, can I do a swap again? Let's do another swap here. Not you. Where's the one that I want to swap with? Okay, can I search here? Search by name? Yeah. Oh, Vic. Can I just... Yep. It is true that you're not that much better. Okay, maybe I'll just, Okay, your Marshal is 11. But you're 19. You're 5. Okay, so this is kind of like... Okay, Marshall's getting the short end of the stick, but I don't know what to say. I mean, this is pretty tough with this leader. My daughter is a genius. Hey, my daughter's a genius. She got that from me. Okay. Let's focus on marriage here for a second. Is there anyone really good for marriage? We could ally with the Kingdom of Burgundy. We could ally with the Kingdom of France. Allying with the Holy Roman Empire is a little bit dangerous because it is elective, right? So, yeah, you can see right now, if this guy dies, Kaiser Widow, If Widow dies, it's not actually his son, Engelbert, who will get in. It'll actually, instead of Engelbert, it'll be Walther of Lower Lorraine, actually. So that's not good. Kingdom of France. Let's talk about the heirs here. He is going to be after Aymar of France. Aymar's actually a little bit of a problem because Aymar is actually the guy who controls this piece of land here. And Aymar is the guy who controls this piece of land here. The problem here, I bet, is that this is... they're willing to do matrilineal. Guys, this is how you beat the system here. Matrilineal marriage with Arnaud, okay? So you get the county, you get France, okay? Then Toulouse. Toulouse is actually going to be vassalage of France. Okay. So now, this is tough. So now we have to essentially ensure that my wife doesn't get pregnant again. Because if the Queen of Lyon is married to the King of France, this is going to basically be the situation that Spain had for many years, where they had multiple kingdom titles, but it was just like all consolidated under one person. So even though the titles weren't merged together, that's actually going to be very powerful, because we will have France and we have Lyon. The problem is that marriage is going to be a mess. Not marriage. Inheritance is going to be a mess. Now the real question is that France is male only. Yeah, France is male only, so we'll have to have a single male heir to get... Oh, Arnaud... Okay, actually, this is a problem. Arnaud is not the male. You are the male. So we have to... We're going to have to start a murder scheme against you. We're going to have to start a murder scheme against you. Okay, this is going to be interesting. I'll have to think about that. We'll have to save up money to get a murder scheme, to get as many people in this murder scheme before you have a child. Your wife is basically getting very close to being infertile. She's not feeling well. You don't have children with her. You don't have a child with her, because this is not from your... Yeah, this is not from your heritage. This was from her first marriage, right? And this is a bastard. Okay. Oops, that's not what I wanted. That's a bastard. Okay, so you basically have no children. You are 19 years old. If we murder you, then your brother will be the next one in throne. Very interesting stuff. So yeah, I guess if you like this episode, please do comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.